Good morning, / good evening, / good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? It's Nova time, baby. Nova open time. Do we know if there will be any MESBG during this event? I don't think there will, no, because they might drop a teaser. You never know. This event, they've said, is going to be slightly different to normal. In that, normally what they do is they just show off everything that's coming, right? They just show off a bunch of models. But this one, they're going to be showing off a bunch of models and a bunch of roadmaps. So that might mean that there will be some teaser videos as well. We don't know, though. I think we might have to prepare ourselves to see some silhouettes. Some silhouette videos that we so very often get. But how are we all doing? Everybody out there ready to see some incredible new miniatures? One would hope. I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really excited for the Stormcast Eternals. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Ymail Angmar, Andre, Jacka, Thomas, Forgefather Vulcan, Gino, Patrick, Thomas, Philip G, Starpilot 94, Big Ron, Chris, Black Dog Minis, good morning, good morning, good morning, and Starpilot 94 straight away with 20 gifted memberships. Incredible. Thank you so much. What a way to kick things off. Incredible scenes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I am excited to show off cool Stormcast Grieving Blood Angels players. I'm excited for roadmaps too. Good morning, Alan. And good evening. Good evening to everyone. Depends where you are in the world. It is the morning for me. It is at 1:34 a.m. Things will be kicking off very shortly. 25 minutes. It's a slightly shorter hype time than we normally do on these streams. We normally have about an hour before we go. Today I was like, we'll just do half an hour. Because we came back from dropping off the cats in Southsea today. At my parents' house. So we are now catless. There are no cats here anymore. It's very sad. I'm very, very sad. Which is why we need to move house. So we can get our own cats. Hello, Paulos Gaming. 7:30 in Texas. 3:30 a.m. for Tommy. Good morning, James. Viper the Lizard. This is going to be epic. I have been tracking down a lot of the out-of-production Stormcast, so I'm excited to see the new stuff. You and me both, Viper. Let's go, baby. Let's get this done. Lokir, thank you so much for 10 gifted members. Incredible scenes. Wow. That's incredibly generous of you. We're on 500. That's 30 in the first 10 minutes. 5 minutes. Amazing. That is for doing Eisenhorn. Thank you. I'm glad. I enjoyed doing the Eisenhorn video. It was good fun. He was a nice model. 5:35 in Oregon. 5:30 in Washington. So dinner's coming up. I haven't got any food. We ate all of our food before we left, and then we got back here. We stayed at my parents' new house last night. And we came back at like 9:30 this evening. We don't have any food. Hey Abdul, how you doing? 8:30 in Montreal. 8:30 a.m. in Western Australia. Sadly can't watch due to work commitments this time. Oh. Well, you'll be able to catch up all of the pictures. Oh, I'm so excited. Who's excited? I'm excited for roadmaps. I'm really excited for Stormcast. And I think Stormcast are going to be what we see first. So I think I'm just going to be like... Oh. I haven't been this excited for a preview for a while, you know. Just, like... I was excited for Scaventide. Really excited for Scaventide. Maybe that was the last time I was really excited. I'm just like... This is the like the bouncing off the walls moment, you know. In case my search skills are lacking, has Warhipster painted a Celestant Prime yet? I haven't, but we might see one tonight. Who knows? If there's a new one, this is what I'm talking about. I'm sat here going, maybe we're gonna get a new Celestant Prime. Maybe it's gonna happen. Ooh. Good morning, Anthony. 10:30 a.m. here in Australia. Very excited to start. Where is your Coke? I don't have any. We're all out. I've got tap water. As Lokir says, for those who have received a sub, do jump into the Discord. Yes, absolutely do. If you've got a sub, or you want to get a sub, if you want to become a sub as a membership, a member of the channel, then do come and join us in the Discord. It's the best Discord on the internet. It's full of incredibly talented people, and they're also really funny, and really wholesome, and lovely, and kind, and giving, and generous, and awesome, and wonderful. And it's a benefit for becoming a member of the channel, or a Patreon subscriber. But it is the best Discord on the internet, hands down. How we get some new units instead of remakes of Sacrosanct? Oh, we're getting new units, baby. It's not Sacrosanct. You are not mid at the hobby at all, Star Pilot. All my members are fire. That's the thing people say, right? Also, guys, if you fancy supporting the channel for free, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like on the stream. It's really useful. It's very supportive. As it just brings more people into the stream. Hopefully they subscribe as well. And then you'll get to see me just do little dances whenever that day we get to 100,000 is. Although I think it's up to chat entirely what the celebration for that looks like. Any news on Spearhead, you think? I think we might see something for Spearhead. I think we might get something in terms of we might get something in terms of like what's it called? Part of the roadmap. So we might see when the next Spearhead thing is. The link for Discord does not work. Does it not? That would be problematic. Let's have a look. Community. No, it looks like it works for me. If it's not working, there is a post in the community section on the channel page in order to come to get through. I love your painting videos, by the way. They are so great to watch and follow. Oh, thank you, Power6. I appreciate that. I'm hoping for some new cavalry for the Stormcast. I think I think there's a pretty good chance that there will be some new cavalry. I think there's going to be new cavalry. I think there's going to be a I think there's going to be a new ranged unit. I think we might get a monster. I think we might see a terrain piece. We're going to see a named character, and I think definitely, for sure, 100%, I think there's going to be a Lord Celestant. And I think it's going to be epic. And I think it might make me cry. A Sigmar model, one can dream. Of the God King himself. They'd be a little bit unbalanced. 10,000 points. Hello, what are your favourite colours to complement a silver and or a dark metallic? Blue and green work really well with silver. Purple does too. Red has to be quite a bright red though. Yeah, they all work. I think green and silver though looks awesome. I watch all your painting videos. I always get some tips. Thank you, Rob, the handsome one. It's a very handsome thing to say. Your username is not a lie. You are handsome. There'll be at least 2 more Ruination Chamber models, probably, right? Yeah, I think we're going to see 3 or 4. Are you describing your favourite colours with silver or your shirt? Well, yeah, that's a good point. No, because I don't think yellow and silver works very well. Lord Vigilant on Morgriff was rumoured. Another Lord Vigilant? Are you describing your... wait, does it start at 2? Perfect. Night to struggle sleeping. Yes, it starts in 17 minutes. I can hear... Oh, that was Operation Hivestorm. Hello, is this the Stormcast waiting room? It is, Cola. Hey Josh, I have to know, how do you get your metallics to look so smooth? For instance, my Retributor armor sometimes comes out a glittery pigmented mess. Is that from over-thinning, perhaps? That can tend to be from over-thinning. It can also be that maybe, if you're applying it directly to primer, the primer might have a bit of gloss to it. So one thing you can do to just help is use a dry brush and just buff the model in the place that you're applying the metallic. And that will help it from sort of depigmenting a little bit. Also, over-thinning can kind of reduce the impact of the stuff. So yeah, that is one thing to bear in mind. The other thing is, as you're going, like once you add the water or medium or whatever it is you're using to thin down your metallics, they will just sit on the palette and they'll start to kind of separate a little bit. So just every once in a while, just give them a good zhuzhing with your brush, rather than kind of just dipping into it gently. Just really give it a good keep mixing it on the palette, as it were. You don't have to add any more water or whatever, but just keep giving it a good messing up. I think we might get a new Vandus model, have him looking a bit rougher, I guess. Maybe we might see Vandus. We might see Ruination Vandus. I'm waiting for your version of Laukavai. It will happen. It will happen eventually. I do have the model. I'm barely over how much the Scaventide Stormcast slapped. I'm with you. Reclusians, man. Everybody, go and listen to Scaventide. It's great. Out of all the new Skaven, I'm most excited about the Warp Spark batteries because I love Warlock Giselles and most artillery pieces. Yeah, the Warp Spark batteries are pretty cool. Just popped in and the first thing I see is that shirt. Hot damn. Well, I put on my favourite shirt for you guys. I like to make a contrasting splash, if you will. Because we're not doing any contrast painting. We're just getting excited for models we will be contrast painting. So my shirt has to reflect that, right? We need more Stormcast cavalry now that the Thunder Kitties are being removed. I think you have a high chance that you're going to see some Stormcast cavalry tonight. I would bet all the money in my wallet that we'll see some cavalry tonight. Next tutorial, how to paint your house with contrast. I mean, we could give it a go. Is that a Dan Flash's shirt? No, this is a H&M special. I've had this for like 7 or 8 years, and I love this T-shirt. I will be gutted the day it's no longer viable to wear. I tried to find another one of it, but it's a really old shirt. I think it was a single run that they did. Do you ever have plans to do a video on painting Nagash? I do. I have Nagash. I have the model. I just have to find the time to build and paint it. It will happen. I wish there was an AOS army that excited me. Well, maybe tonight. I'm gonna join this stream because Valrak is doing my head in. Is he? What's he up to? Is he talking a lot about Space Marines? Tonight is the night for Stormcast Eternals. When is our Space Marine 2 playdate? Well, it comes out on the 9th of September. I wish there was an AOS army that didn't excite me. I'm with you there. Too many people. Yeah, we're a little bit quieter over here. It's getting to be too expensive, this AOS excursion. Oh, I'm with you there. AOS was supposed to be my secondary game when I first started it, and I bought Age of Sigmar, Mighty Battles in an Age of an Ending War, and I was like, yeah, that'll be done. But now I'm like, well, almost 9 years later, I guess, 4 editions later, there's about as many Age of Sigmar models in my collection as there are 40k. Finally going to pick up my display cabinet from IKEA at the weekend. My minis can now break free of their Tupperware prison. That's awesome, Gary. I need to get a new display cabinet, but I'm kind of holding off until we move. How many new characters do you think we'll see? I think we'll see 3. 3 new characters. They won't preview the Azeroth again, I hope. Oh, excuse me. Do you play much, Mr. Warhipster, or mainly collect / paint? I do play when I get the chance. I don't really get the chance to play very often, which is sad. But I would like to play a lot more. It looks like we're nearly ready to go. Yeah, nearly there. Is the music playing? Yes. You have to do a game with Joe versus Beard and Fletcher from Tabletop Tactics. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. More new cities of Sigmar, please. I don't think you'll see that tonight, but if they're on the roadmap, that means they're coming. They didn't re-preview the big clan Molder monster, so it makes sense that they wouldn't preview the Azeroth. Yes, yeah. I don't think if the Azeroth is in there, if you see it, then that means that there's a lot less coming for the Stormcast than there are for the Skaven. Fletcher and Warhipster paint off contrast versus classic. Well, he'd win. Fletcher's an outstanding painter. He's an unbelievable painter of the miniatures. Hope to see Caradron Overlords and Fire Slayers for the roadmap. I think what we'll see is we'll see something like I think we'll see an Order faction, a Chaos faction, and maybe one of either Death or Destruction. Because we've had one Order, one Chaos, but Order and Chaos are the biggest Grand Alliances, so they're going to get... There's more releases for them, as it were. So Death and Destruction are definitely due, but they've only got 4 each, 4 sub-factions, well, 4 factions within the Grand Alliance. So, is it just AOS roadmaps tonight or 40k too? It is 40k as well. It is also, so I'll just quickly show you this, guys. We are going to be seeing future holds with new roadmaps for Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, and Warhammer the Old World. And I'm particularly interested in the Horus Heresy, because that must mean that there's enough big stuff coming for Warhammer Horus Heresy that it's worth a roadmap. The Old World, I'm hoping they're just going to tell us when Empire, Elves and Elves are coming. Oh, and Beasts of Chaos. Those are the last 4, I think, that are on their way. So, yeah, I'm hoping they're going to show us. Just tell us when they're coming. That would be nice. Need some training Stormcast described from the first Forge book, like Gladiators, but Stormcast is externals. I like it. I like it. Scouts. Like proper scouts. I like the Vanguard. Shouldn't there be a new edition for Horus Heresy soon? Maybe. It would be coming up next year, would be its 3rd year for Horus Heresy, but I don't think it needs to go for a 3-year cycle of new editions. I would think it would probably be closer to something like MESBG, where you would maybe get a new... well, I mean, it's been ages since we've had a new edition for MESBG, but maybe once every sort of 5, maybe 6 years for something like Horus Heresy. But we'll find out. We will find out in due course, naturally. Which armies are you hoping to see on the 40k roadmap? I'd personally love to see the theoretical Votan second wave show up on the board. Yeah, there's not actually that much left for 40k. There's 13, I think, at the last time I counted. Basically, silhouettes are posted. Are they? Are they, by Jove? Whoa, I just zoomed into 300%. Where are these silhouettes you speak of? Is it in the view all news thing? All news. Ah. On Facebook. Oh. Facebook. Just Warhammer, I guess. I hate Facebook. Oh, look at them. I can see a few silhouettes. Oh, I'm getting excited now. I was already very excited. Hello, Tau. So 40k roadmap, I'd like to see some of the God Legions. World Eaters, Death Guard, or Thousand Suns. Just at least one of them. That would be nice. That would just be very nice to have. Because we don't have that currently. Oh. It looks like there's movement. Yep.
Little different to our usual previews. Instead of focusing specifically on upcoming miniatures, we're going to be giving you a little insight into the future of loads of your favourite games and settings.
Cool.
We'll even be joined by some of the talented people from the Warhammer studio to give you the inside scoop. So, whether you're a fan of the grim darkness of Warhammer 40,000, a daring traveller in the mortal realms of Warhammer
This is
Age
very
of Sigmar,
quiet. Is it
or
quiet for you
to
guys?
engage in any of our other settings, prepare to be delighted. Let's dive right in.
Prepare to be delighted. That looks like Stage to Darkness. Oh, Blood Bowl. I hope I don't get DMCA'd from having all of this copyright music. Sound quiet. Is that alright? Yeah, I'm just going to get copyright struck for this. Chaos Dwarfs, yeah, looks like it. Yeah, they wouldn't have, yeah. Devastation from the Darklands. Well,
Hi,
there you
welcome
go.
back, everyone. I'm joined now by Jay and Dan, and we're going to talk about those amazing Chaos Dwarfs that we just saw. This is quite an exciting moment. Loads of new things that, even though I'm familiar with Blood Bowl and with Chaos Dwarfs, I'm not familiar with what they are. Maybe you can talk us through them. Dan, lots of hobgoblins.
Is that an okay volume, or is it the same volume as me?
Thankfully got the return of the Hobgoblin lineman, the humble Hobgoblin lineman, there to do all of the less interesting parts.
Is that
of
a
Blood Bowl
decent
as far as
balance?
the Chaos Dwarves are
Get
concerned.
punched.
Get punched, move the ball around the field, that kind of thing. But we've also got a new Chaos Dwarf positioner. We've got the Hobgoblin Sneaky Stabber. And they fulfill the role of sort of hired cut men and assassins.
Good
so
morning,
they follow
Reverend
important
Chris
players
Lawton.
around and stick the knife in when they're not looking.
Amazing, awesome. That's an exciting opportunity to see something new for the Hobgoblins.
This feels a little less
there to get punched
enthusiastic,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
It gives a chance for
the
the
previous
Hobgoblins
pre-recorded
to find
videos.
a little bit of the limelight. You know, they're never going to outstage the Chaos Dwarves themselves, but sometimes goblins have great designs of grandeur and this ideal of them becoming stars of Blood Bowl. But we know who the stars of Blood Bowl are, and when it comes to the Chaos Dwarf teams, it's the Chaos Dwarfs.
Speaking of the Chaos Dwarfs, then, Jay, two different types of Chaos Dwarfs within the set, by the look of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the classic Chaos Dwarf blocker. They are back and badder than ever. Some lovely new miniatures, big hats, horns.
I like that we've got some
everything you love about
subtitles.
your Chaos Dwarfs.
That's
but there's
good.
also the Chaos Dwarf Flamesmiths, which are these brand new positionals. They use like alchemical solutions, which they'll drink to spit fire at their opposition. Something, you know, the Chaos Dwarves, they love their fire. It's a big thing for them, but it gives them a chance to potentially knock down opposition players, even injure them. But there's also that chance that maybe they drink a little bit too much. It goes a little bit wrong.
Weird they kicked off with Blood Bowl.
So we've got your two different types of Chaos Dwarf in that as well.
Burying the lead here.
So all of those four positions, they're what you find within the forthcoming plastic kit. And then I also saw a horror from my childhood. I remember getting mauled by a bull centaur. My friend Henry used to play on me all the time, and the bull centaur is back.
Yes, the Bull Centaur is back in new
Some
4-drop
Chaos
resin
Dwarves are
kit.
better than no
There's
Chaos
two
Dwarves.
miniatures
You are
in the kit, absolutely stunning
absolutely
miniatures.
correct,
and
Rodney.
any Chaos Dwarf player worth their salt is going to want to pick these up alongside the plastic box.
They're very pretty.
To add a little bit more punch and a bit more speed to their Chaos Dwarf roster.
Incredible.
Very pretty.
So speaking of sort of that punch and speed, there's obviously some new tactics in the offing for the Chaos Dwarf team. Jay, what can we expect to see from the Chaos Dwarfs
My friend
on the
Henry.
gridiron?
Yeah,
My
so we've
pal
taken the
Henry.
opportunity not just
My
to
best
update the
pal,
miniatures, but also
Henry.
update the skills and the tactics that you can use with them during the course of a game. So your Chaos Dwarf
More
blockers
likely the
feel very similar
Stormcast
to how
are
they
going
used
to
to,
steal the show and these didn't
but
want
they
to
also
follow. I mean, you're
have
probably
Ironheart
right,
skin,
James.
as all Chaos Dwarfs now do.
We'll see.
And that is a chance for us to update that mutation and that skill
I
from
wonder
the core
if these
book,
models are going to
and
be
make
so
it more
good
useful,
that I actually
and it now
do
allows
cry.
your Chaos Dwarfs to ignore any modifiers to their armor roll. So it's not just ignoring
love
claws, it'll
Stormcast
ignore
Eternals so
blow,
much,
anything
guys.
like that as well. It's sort of to represent them sort of turning to stones slightly through the use of their dark magics. The Flamesmith is great for, like I said, you know, setting fire to people. Hopefully not themselves,
great
but there's a
statement.
chance for them to knock down opposition players. Your Sneaky Stabbers have got stab, so there's a good chance that they can run in, you know, take someone out with low armor, and then move on as well. But that's
great for
that's kind of how
setting fire
they
to
play.
people.
They're very much still a punchy team up front, and you still got that little bit of speed with your Bull Centaurs and your Hobgoblins to score a few touchdowns. I think they're going to be a real terror on the gridiron, and I
This
can't wait
actually
to see how
started
people
early.
sort of take to them and put them across in leagues and tournaments.
Sounds awesome. As a diehard halfling player back in the day, I've had too many horror stories of getting beaten up by Chaos Dwarfs. So this all sounds suitably frightening, and also relying on a tree man to punch all
There's an ad.
the Chaos Dwarfs is going to
Get
be
the
less
credit you
reliable than ever.
deserve from Equifax.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shocking. Okay, well, while I reel from that, all of this information is obviously contained within the new Spike Journal, issue 18. Dan, what can we expect in the new Spike Journal?
So
It
anyone
didn't
who's
start till 2,
read
but it
the Spike
started
Journal
at
before
2
will
minutes
know
to
of the
2.
usual fixtures. We'll have some background diving
lot of
into
saying the
what the
twos.
Chaos Dwarves are in the world of Blood Bowl, and some famous
They jumped
teams
the
that we've
gun a
seen
little bit.
on the gridiron, including the infamous Hobgoblin team. For those fans who have been around for a while. We'll also see 3-star player spotlights covering some of the biggest names in Chaos Dwarf Blood Bowl, as well as I say, those returning fixtures. We've got a chat with the Rat, we've got an interview with Tatsina, so those usual fixtures that fans have come to love with Spike Magazine.
Thanks, Jay and Dan, for coming down and telling us all about the new Chaos Dwarfs. It's all really exciting. I can't wait to see them on the gridiron, although a little bit nervous. For the rest of us, we're going to come back in a moment in the Mortal Realms, where we're going to look at the aftermath of the Hell Crown with some new Stormcast Eternal releases.
Hope has turned to ruin as the Skaven proved too strong for the noble Stormcast Eternals. Hellcrown may have fallen, but Sigmar's mighty warriors will soon return to save the mortal realms.
Damn right they will.
Reforged to fight another day.
Come on. Terrain, yes!
Yeah.
New Lord Relictor. New Lord Relictor. New Cavalry. New Cavalry. Stormstrike Palador. Night Arc. What? Oh, come on now. Lord Celebrant! A Lord Relictor. Who? Eridan the Witness? Why is the Lord Imperator and the Lord Arcana
Welcome back. Joined now by Matt and Phil from the Warhammer Age of Sigmar team to talk about the aftermath of the Hell Crown experience. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Phil.
Thanks. Great
Lovely to have you join me. So, with the slaughter at Hell Crown concluded and the Skaven running roughshod across the city, we've got a chance to look at all the new Stormcast Eternal releases that are coming. I wonder if we can just start from the top and talk about the new Stormstrike Paladors.
These are epic cavalry. They're really fast. They hit hard.
I mean, they're beautiful.
They have a certain way of essentially getting retribution for their fallen. So these are a counter-strike in a way, aren't they?
Absolutely. And this is really giving that kind of core, hard-hitting, heavy cavalry to the Stormcast Eternals. And as Phil said, you know, they have this kind of ride for vengeance, effectively. Whereas other warriors are falling, you know, they're really that second wave that's going to come smash through into the enemy. Devastating charge. They're really fun to use on the tabletop.
Or countercharge if you spend the command points for it. So
Okay.
yeah, they're a really great late game attack that will cinch victory for you.
That sounds amazing. And we also saw some fantastic character models. My favourite, I've always loved, a new Lord Relictor model.
Oh yes, yeah. Well,
Lord
these go
Relictor
way
is
back,
very,
don't they? I
very
mean, we saw
pretty.
the first one back in the Realmgate Wars. Ionis Cryptborn, essentially the catalyst that formed these Ruination Chambers. The Lord Relictors are kind of like the spiritual guardians of the Stormcast, and so they have a profound effect on the warriors around them, and they have really pretty mean in
I
a
think
fight
they
as
might
well.
have done Michael.
Yeah, and, you know, they just give you that really great core, reliable priest unit. Priests obviously very, very powerful in the new edition of Age of Sigmar, the way that you can build up rituals over multiple turns. And this is kind of one of the strongest core infantry priest characters.
Awesome. And I love all the sort of morbid imagery on them. It's so good.
Yeah, of course.
On a similar vein, there's a new Lord Terminus miniature. And what can you tell us about Lord Terminus and their role within the Stormcast Eternals?
Oh, you were right to say sort of morbid imagery. These guys are really the final point of a lot of Stormcast journey. Happens very rarely, but these guys can occasionally set the Stormcast out away from their eternal curse of living, fighting, being reborn over and over again. But yes, they're also pretty good at taking off the enemy's heads with their two-handed axes as well, which is
nice.
I think it's going to leave a mark.
Oh yeah, and you know, fun to use and nice synergy with that brand new Ruination Chamber, which
Where
is
was that in the
now
video?
expanding with a few more options to bring into play.
You segue beautifully into great new Reclusian models.
Because of this new kit, you can now have a great variety, and you could actually field just the Ruination Chamber.
Well, especially with some of the models we're talking about and will continue to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the Ruination Chamber is really being fleshed out as you know, a really fully fledged chamber with interesting synergies within it, interesting abilities, and you know, the Reclusians form one of the core elite units.
They're your rank and file of the Ruination Chamber, but each one of them is
Pretty
like
elite level.
high bar,
really high elite warrior. And they come with the Memorians. Those are almost like their squires. Who
I like the big
to
weapons.
remind them of what it is to be human.
Such a great image, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It gives great scale. You can see just how big and powerful a Stormcast is.
You know, one of the common threads that'll apply to all of the Ruination Chamber units is that
Heavy Metal
incredible
finished them last
resistance,
night.
right? They've been
Yeah,
through so
looks
much,
like
they've been
it.
reforged so many times. They're going into just the absolute worst, most devastating, most deadly places. You know, whether it's enemy spells or prayers or abilities or debuffs or, you know, different things, they kind of have this ability, unlike any other units in the game, to kind of shrug that off and keep going.
It's a really nice point of the lore and the rules on the tabletop sort of coinciding to give you the right feel. That sounds awesome. Talking perhaps at the other end of the Stormcast spectrum, we've got a new Lord Celestant, fantastic new miniature with great new
I like
options.
that. But the normal-
Core infantry commander, you know, really works well, can fight back to back.
It is a little
The
bit
different units
of,
opens up a lot of
behold
builds.
my
And,
stuff,
you know, it's just,
but it's
just a
fine.
great option for that kind of general on foot archetype to go in and lead your forces.
I love it. Whenever I play with my Stormcast Eternal Army, I see myself as the Lord Celestant in the ranks. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's an important part
the
for me
general is you
personally.
on the battlefield,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's
It's a beautiful kit as well, and
Well,
as you said,
right.
lots of
Lots
fun
of
options.
lots of
and you
options.
kind of just customize it to really make your own Lord Celestant.
That's fantastic. Speaking of sort of characters
go.
and things that have existed around since that first iteration, I remember learning way back in time about Torglug, and he's been on a journey, and we now have Taunus the Redeemed, just an incredible looking miniature. What
It's
can you
not
say
in
about
gold
Taunus?
though.
So
That's
Taunus
not
is
Taunus.
a really interesting
Taunus
character
is a hallowed
because, as
knight.
you say, it comes from the Realmgate Wars, really. It's one
I
of
don't
the
know
first
why they're
characters you've got
showing
to
off
know.
the gold
His
version.
backstory, as you intimated, Torglug, once upon a time, was as a farmer, he was defending his village against Nurgle, and he fought so hard and he held out for so long, but eventually Nurgle got him. But he was redeemed by Galmaraz, so there was still a bit of goodness
He was
in him.
redeemed
And
quite
he forged that
spectacularly.
into Taunus
That's
Redeemed.
Taunus
We've seen his
Redeemed.
character evolve even more, and he is now a leader of the Ruination Chamber. He's put aside his personal vendettas for the good of his brothers, and he's become a Knight of Zeros. He takes the light of Sigmar to guide the lost. So he's had a really interesting story arc, that guy.
I'm all about a good redemption arc, just a fantastic journey. The kit doesn't just make Taunus the Redeemed, though, it also makes a standard Knight of Zeros, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. The standard Knight of Zeros has a little bit more synergy directly with the prosecutors, you know, kind of flying in, supporting them with that wing. So both really fun options. I love the
No Lord,
I love
no
Taunus's
Celestant
whole
Prime.
arc, and just seeing that realized on
Sad
the
panda,
tabletop
Josh.
is really fun.
So obviously Taunus and the Knight of Zeros, they can get around nice and quick, but my experience of my Stormcast Eternal Army is a little bit slower on their feet. That's where the Stormreach portal comes in, right?
I like
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
piece
So
of
this
terrain.
is a complete building. It's in that Azerite Art Deco style. It's a massive, great, powerful thing. And this has been built by the Stormcast and their aides, the Memorians, to essentially act as a kind of a battery of storm power. Enables them to get
it's a
essentially
nice-
teleport,
it's
really,
big
in
as
blurs
well.
of lightning.
That is
So what the
definitely
Stormreach
big.
portal opens up kind of for the first time is having that option to hold some of your troops back, defend that home territory, and then go through that portal in order to deep strike
That's awesome.
deep into the battlefield later on in the game.
The game has a lot of movement aspects to it. Counting
middle bit
objectives
should have
is
been clear
huge.
blue
So,
plastic.
yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that would
so
look
the
awesome.
showstopper for this set of Stormcast Eternal releases has to be Iridan the Witness. Can you fill us in on what they're about?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is the first Stormcast to ever take another Stormcast life, which is obviously a huge deal. They couldn't stand to see their brother-in-arms suffer anymore, and that poor unfortunate was pleading for an end, and Iridan gave it to them with essentially a magic axe, and that has given them the gift of oblivion. Now, Sigmar wanted an answer as to why that happened, and Iridan ended up talking to Sigmar himself about this, and pleaded their case so eloquently and so well that actually it is now a formally recognised thing that can happen in the Ruination Chambers, and the Order of the Lord Terminos has come to be as a result of Iridan.
I like
They
it.
keep the memories and the sagas and the war histories of all those that
first
they have to
Terminos,
end.
yeah.
They're very responsible. This happens very rarely. But in a way, they are a moral compass for the Ruination Chambers. And naturally, they bring vengeance to chaos on their
so
great
nice.
Morgriff as well, striking like a bolt from the blue. So we've got a really great active character joining the Storm hosts in this point.
I cannot
That's bleak
wait to
and
paint that
awesome.
miniature.
No, the kit has a separate component, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. So you can also build this kit as a Lord Vigilant on Morgriff as well. And that gives you 2 really different kind of roles on the battlefield. You know, the Lord Vigilant, as with the Lord Vigilant in the Scaventide starter set, this time with a much bigger mount, is, you know, your kind of classic commander for your rumination chamber. Also, you know, a formidable fighter and a lot of speed with the Morgriff going around the battlefield. Whereas, you know, Iridan the Witness is a priest, first of all, as we talked about, always a kind of useful archetype, really a lot of powerful prayer abilities that they can use, and has more of a support role for the army as a whole, you know, while being certainly no slouch in combat.
Awesome. That sounds just incredible. Well, look, it's been amazing having you guys come and sort of fill me in and everybody here in on all of these outstanding new Stormcast Eternal releases. Thank you for coming. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Ben from the Warhammer Age of Sigmar team to talk about the future roadmap.
Here we go. Age of Sigmar roadmap.
So, Ben, it's obviously been a really big year for Age of Sigmar. What are the highlights been for you throughout the year?
I think the highlights for me it's the Dawnbringer of Crusade and those build-up books that took us into Scaventide and the brand new edition. And in particular, personally for me, Spearhead. It's such a great format of the game. And it's been so well received by everybody.
Everybody's playing it right now in all of my gaming groups. Yeah.
I've just come back from a weekend at a friend's where we played 10 games over a Saturday and a Sunday. It's just great format.
What's your Spearhead of choice?
I don't have a single one. I have a few that I play. So I've just booked into an event actually where you can bring 5 different ones and play 5 games throughout the event, and then
I almost hit all of the.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't stop
all
looking
of
at
the all of the things.
They're a lot of fun.
Almost
because they've got a bit
100%
of everything.
correct.
Some infantry, some heavy guys with the rut guts, and then they've got speed with the Boingrots as well.
I've never painted like gits en masse either. So nice. I feel like it's luring. Anyway, I know you've been hard at work, you and your team, working on lots of stuff for Battle Tomes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Battle Tomes was a really big project within the studio, and we've tried to look at them from front to back to make them visually different. A lot more content in there from a background and a rules point of view, from photography as well. Worked really hard to make them really exciting, and hopefully they make you feel like it's the first book you've ever bought, that feeling that you get back again.
It sounds awesome. So not just visual, but there's going to be new lore and new rules and things as well?
Yeah, so there's new lore. Obviously, the Age of Sigmar storyline progresses on. We tell you new things that have happened since the Scaventide and the Vermin Doom, and how that has impacted particularly Skaven and obviously Stormcast Eternals, but also lots of little new nuggets based on all the new miniatures as well.
Sounds incredible, thank you. So we've talked a little bit about Skaven and about Stormcast Eternals. What does the rest of 2024 look like?
Here we go.
Oh, so it's packed. So we've got a new Chaos Battle Tome on the way. And a new narrative book as well, which is very much like the General's Handbook, but for narrative play. Awesome. So a must buy, I think, for people.
So you're looking to sort of have those really thematic games that link together. That's right. The one for you. Yeah. Outstanding. So that's 2024. Obviously, 2025 is rushing on us. What can you tell us about a glimpse of the future?
More battle tomes, more spearheads, starting with destruction and then death. So the fans of those Grand Alliances have got a lot to look forward to.
Awesome, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for hanging around and sort of filling us in on like a roadmap for the future. That's awesome. The rest of you, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Warhammer 40,000 beckons.
Here we go, Warhammer 40k.
We're joined now by Stu from the Warhammer 40,000 studio team. Stu's here to tell us a little bit about the Warhammer 40,000 roadmap for the future and talk a little bit about what's happened so far this year.
Come on.
Welcome, Stu. Thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
Looking back at the year so far, it's been an amazing year for Warhammer 40,000. What are the highlights?
So there's so many to choose from, isn't there? So I think we're about 8 codexes this year, I think.
Been a busy time.
More battle
it certainly has. The Dark Angels.
The best of all of the codexes.
Yep, I thought you might say that. A little bit biased. Chaos Space Marines, we've had the Gene Stealer Cults, Sisters of Battle, Deptus Custodes, Orcs, actually the best faction in 40k.
But at least they're green.
They are green, so loads of really, really fun stuff. And we've got plenty more to come. We've also had a couple of things for narrative play. We've had the Pariah Nexus Crusade book, which has been really fun as well. An opportunity to go back and see what the Silent King's been up to in that part of the 40k universe.
Yeah, fantastic. Building out that war zone and giving people something to sort of sink their teeth into from a campaign and narrative perspective is great.
Yeah, and we also then picked that up with the latest match play mission deck as well, also set in the Pariah Nexus.
We were forced to make
it's been really
a
good fun kind of exploring
deck
different bits of the 40k universe through the different lenses.
Fantastic. So that's sort of the year that's been. What about the end of 2024?
More
what can we
codexes.
expect to see?
Yeah, so I think Blood Angels
Right.
So the second best angels, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they get their time in the sun between now and Christmas.
Probably should
lots
have
of
said
really
that in this
exciting new
video,
releases
let's
for
be
them.
real.
And then it really kicks off in the new year with all kinds of exciting things.
So before we dive into the new year, one of the things I've always loved about the Blood Angels is they just look incredible, right? I think from a visual perspective, maybe the most attractive Warhammer 40,000 army there is, and there's incredible releases sort of coming out alongside this. What's exciting about the Blood Angels for you in this release?
Yeah, so I think one of the really, really cool things, you touched on it there a little bit, they're really visually striking, aren't they? With like the red, the black and gold, the three kind of different ways, I guess, of showing the Blood Angels.
Yep.
So we've got a bunch of stuff that's kind of Death Company themed. We've got the sanguinary stuff as well in the gold armour. So just really visually striking. The return of some really favourite characters. The miniatures team have done a fantastic job bringing those kind of really beloved characters to life in a new way. So that's going to be very exciting.
Awesome. So that sees us through to the end of the year. A little bit of a tease about
More
what comes
codexes.
further down the road?
Yeah, so we start off the new year with Astra Militarum.
Wow, okay.
With the Death Corps. So
Awesome.
obviously people have seen the infantry unit that was released via Kill Team.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get to round that out with a full Death Corps release,
Oh my.
which will be super exciting.
That's going to be amazing.
Really, really good. Yeah, I think they're like a fan favourite regiment.
Yeah.
I think most people have
full
like
Death
a
Corps.
favourite Astra Militarum regiment.
That's
we know that
pretty
the
big
Death
news.
Corps are really popular, so that'll be very exciting. We're going to follow that up with some Eldari launches.
Wow.
Really rounding out some of the Aspect Warriors with some new sculpts for those, which will be really cool. And then
Can you guess which
some
ones?
really exciting stuff on the horizon after that for the Forces of Chaos.
That sounds incredible. What a brilliant way to sort of finish off 2024 and then kick off 2025 with an enormous bang.
For sure. I mean, Astra Militarum and Eldari, two of the probably the most popular factions in 40k. So, yeah, really good start to next year.
Long-awaited things that people can be really excited about.
Okay.
That's
Full
really great to have you
Krieg
come and
range.
join us and tell us a little bit about the future.
That's
And sort
spicy.
of flesh out that roadmap for us, Stu. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
As for the rest of you, stay right there. We're going to come back with news from the Age of Darkness and the Horus Heresy.
So this is one I'm really interested in and what they're going to be talking about.
Now it is my pleasure to welcome Andy Hall, Lord of the Horus Heresy from the Warhammer studio team who deals with the Age of Darkness and Legions Imperialis. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Adam. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, pleasure. It's really nice to have you here. It has been an amazing couple of years for the Horus Heresy setting. We saw the Age of Darkness launch. It was about 2 years
You
ago
are
now,
100%
right?
Summer
correct there, James.
22.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a time has flown by. And
Absolutely.
what's that been like for you and your team?
It's been a crazy ride, obviously. So we came out of the gate with a big box set with loads of cool stuff
That
in it.
wasn't
we
this
did
year.
new Mark 6 Space Marines.
Painted a lot of those.
I've painted many of them myself, yeah. We did upgrade sets to turn them into heavy support squads, special weapon squads, all of that sort of thing. Veteran squads, you can make loads of stuff out of all of those upgrades. We came out with loads of tanks because we already had the designs in resin, so the same designers got to make them again in plastic, which is why we had so many of those. And then since then, we brought out Mark 6 Assault Marines. And then, the really exciting thing, we get to expand into more factions. So, first of all, the first wave of Solar Auxilia, more
First
of those
wave.
coming down the line. And then Mechanicum, which is the next big new faction.
Yeah, and that's sort of happening right now, isn't
So
it? We're seeing the
there's
first
a next
of the
wave of Solar Auxilia.
Mechanicum in plastic.
That's absolutely right. So, initially, we're taking that dive into Space Marines, giving people a really good selection so they can start their journey in plastic. And then we decided to broaden that offering because the more factions you have in the game, the more people you can draw into it, the more variety you can get.
The more excuses you have to buy cool new stuff.
Exactly.
The lure is quite strong, and from a narrative point of view, the Mechanicum offers something quite rich. You know, you've got the Martian Civil War playing out, right?
That's right. You've got a completely different type of army to Space Marines with the Mechanicum. We sometimes
As
like
are the
to sort
Solar
of
Auxilia.
compare them to fantasy
a fairly
tropes,
obvious thing
if
to
you
say.
like. The Mechanicum, we very much think of like a sort of undead army, essentially.
Yeah.
You've got these very sort of arcane, mysterious
post the actual
characters
roadmaps
ruling it, and
afterwards.
they're
I
a little bit
suspect
like
they will.
necromancers, raising up the hordes of dry or wet undead.
Yeah, there's something really disturbing about the sort of that flesh
think we'll
and
see the-
machine melding. You can see that sort of connection to them.
think we'll
Are they
see the
properly
pictures.
alive anymore? Yeah.
Particularly because you've got different troop types within that army. So you can have hordes of tech thralls, for example, if you want to go for that shambling zombie horde style army, or you can have lots of robots, lots of automata from more of a sort of dry.
I'm not saying
undead
I
sort
would
of
be
feel,
good at doing
but
this.
the Magi are always these characters that are
I think I
coordinating
would
the
do a
whole thing. They're
pretty good
using
job
their
of doing these
cyberthurgic
previews.
spells,
Especially if I just
essentially,
went
to
in
sort of control them
blind.
and
I
focus
didn't know
them in
any of
battle.
what
So
it was going to be.
plays completely differently to a Space Marine army. But it also offers lots of different playstyles. You can go for hordes, you can go for elites, you can go for big constructs.
So we're going to see some cool stuff, hopefully.
That's a really lovely addition to the Age of Darkness, and something sort of exciting for collectors to sink their teeth into. So that's happening now.
Yep.
People probably can see them, in their local Warhammer stores or hobby centres. What's next on the horizon for the Horus Heresy setting, be that Age of Darkness or Legions Imperialis?
So specifically for Age of Darkness, first of all, we will carry on our journey into the core Space Marine range. There'll be plenty more coming out for that. Hopefully quite soon there'll be a melee weapon set.
The long-awaited.
Long-awaited melee set, which we've mentioned in some roadmaps in the past. We're probably almost ready to show those, I'd have thought. Much awaited. Yeah. There'll be more Space Marine stuff, more core Space Marine stuff. Longer term, we'll start diving into the individual legions in plastic as well. But for the foreseeable future, it's still the core stuff because there's an awful lot there to do. There'll be subsequent waves of Solar Auxilia and of Mechanicum as well. So we'll carry on broadening each of those factions for a little while yet.
That's incredible. It feels like you're sort of just getting started, really.
It's quite funny, after 12 years or so of doing the Age of Darkness setting previously with Forge World, and then a couple of years doing it with...
Did I just miss something
in the plastic range? It's just starting to mature, really. So yeah, and when we get into the Legion-specific stuff,
is it the Legion-specific stuff?
Will be the real awakening of it, definitely.
That sounds amazing. What can you tell us about future releases for Legions Imperialis?
Legions Imperialis is a great range because it's all plastic, and most of it is drawing off of vehicles and unit types that we already know about for the Age of Darkness game. So it's definitely our ambition long term that anything that we make for the full scale Age of Darkness game, we would also make at epic scale.
Legions Imperialis Primax.
Legions Imperialis game. That gives us an enormous amount of stuff to explore, so we're likely to be doing that for many years yet. There's a huge amount to do. We came out the gate with a core Space Marine and a Solar Auxilia range, so obviously we want to carry on expanding that, but there's other factions to explore. There's Mechanicum, there's Custodes, there's Sisters of Silence, there's a whole load of stuff that we could do in the future as we come to it, but it's a big job of work initially to fill out the Space Marine range and the Solar Auxilia range, so that's what we'll be doing for the next few years.
Awesome, that sounds great. Well, look, it's been lovely having you come and join us and sort of inform us.
They're trying to get through this really quick.
Happening for the future of the Age of Darkness and Legions Imperialis. Thank you, Andy. Up next, we're going to the World of Legend with the Warhammer Old World team.
Why is there not more like just...
I'm joined now by Dan
3D
from the Warhammer Old World team. Dan's part of the group that write all of the rules and the lore for the Old World game. It's lovely to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
My pleasure. It's been an amazing year for Warhammer the Old World. We've seen this renaissance of a system and a setting that I particularly love. How have you found it so far?
It's been wonderful to welcome everybody back to the World of Legend. It's one of our most sort of beloved IPs, and it's something that we as a team have really, really enjoyed delving back into.
Yeah, absolutely. So since sort of it returned, what have we seen so far? What have people been able to get involved with?
So we've seen the release of the core game, and alongside that we had our launch boxes for the Bretonnians and the Tomb Kings, which went out really well. They were very popular and people were really excited by the content. We followed that up with the Orc and Goblin Tribes, the Arcane Journal format, and again, the content in there people seem to be really, really resonating with, so we're happy with how that's been going. And then we just most recently had the Dwarven Mountain Holds return.
For me, I'm super excited by those. Some of the miniatures in the Warhammer Dwarfs range are amongst my favourites. They were actually the first miniatures I ever bought.
Wait for Liam and Joe
Games Workshop way back in the day. A tiny little Adam with hair and no beard.
That's fantastic.
Wandering into a Games Workshop store to buy dwarfs. So delightful to see. What have you been doing yourself? Come on, have you dipped your toe in?
Absolutely. I mean, when you work at Games Workshop and at Warhammer World especially, it's hard not to. So I've been building up an Orc and Goblin Tribes army, yes. Lots of bits for a nomadic war in particular. I just love the idea of these Orcs and Goblins mounting up and racing off to go and raid and pillage Bretonnian farms and places in the Border Princes and then racing off again with all their loot.
Those turnip farmers don't know what's coming.
They really don't.
I love it. That sounds amazing. So we've had lots of great stuff in 2024 already. What can we expect to see before the end of the year?
Well, hot on the heels of the Dwarf launch, we have the Warriors of Chaos making their return to the Old World.
Awesome.
We're in an interesting time period in the setting at the moment where Chaos has been waning in power a little bit, but with the rise of a certain Everchosen and that Doom approaching, Chaos is on the rise again, and we begin to cover that in the Chaos Arcane Journal.
That's very exciting. We're on the approach from a historical point of view to a very exciting time within Warhammer's sort of setting and chronology, aren't we?
Yeah. Absolutely. The Siege of Prague and the battles around Kislev mark some of the most important points in this period. But we've got a lot of distance to cover before we reach that climactic battle.
It's a way off yet, but you can see
100%.
it distantly on the horizon.
Absolutely. And as I say, we've got so many events to cover, and as anybody who's been following the narrative in the Arcane Journals will see that we've been sort of jumping all over the place and really enjoying the sandpit of this time period we have to look at.
An exciting new technology.
So Chaos Warriors within 2024. If we look a little bit further out, sort of beyond the horizon, as it were, what can you tell us about what the future holds?
Well, it would be improper, really, for us to follow the Warriors of Chaos with anything other than the Empire of Man.
Yes.
The two have been classic foes for as long as Warhammer has been around. So, again, it just made absolute sense for the Empire to follow up.
That sounds so exciting. The old world setting just continues to add something new to a system that so many of us love and enjoy. It's been really exciting having you come and join us, Dan. Thanks for taking the time. Some amazing stuff from the studios about Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Age of Darkness and the Old World. But we've also got loads on the way for our other systems. Necromunda. Hive Secundus took us underground with the terrifying Genestealer cults. Expect to see another faction release this year.
Okay.
And further into the future, we'll be looking at other factions to add. Kill Team. The big news is Hivestorm, the new edition of Kill Team. We're looking forward to seeing people get hold of the new rules. Going into the new year, we'll continue to release Kill Teams and box sets to add more scenery and locations to your games. Underworlds. Plenty happening here. Before the end of 2024, you'll see new warbands being released. And in 2025,
people said it was dead.
We'll continue to build up those factions. Warcry. We've just released Briar and Bone, which we know the community were waiting to get their hands on. Blood Bowl. This year has seen some great teams released, including our favourites, the Gnomes. Everybody loves a badger. We've also just revealed the Chaos Dwarf team coming to Blood Bowl very soon, and there's plenty more in 2025. Well, we've got time for one more reveal, and it's something very precious that I'm incredibly excited about, and I hope you will be too. Before I leave you, remember, if you want to stay up to date with the latest Warhammer news, head over to warhammercommunity.com. Now, let's see that extra special final reveal.
The lion with hair and hammerhand. Wolf. That's very pretty. And wolf on foot. Oh, come on, give us more. I want more of that. Wow. Okay. All right. To the Warhammer website, shall we? God. Right, we need the pictures of everything. Come on. Where are my pictures? Where's all the road maps? Road maps. Womp womp. Homelander killed me wife and took me bloody son. Womp womp. All news. Okay, so we have some news. So, here we go. Right, so let's put on the old YouTube-y stuff again. Here we are. Awesome. So, let's start off with the close-ups of this. So here we go. Here's the Chaos Dwarves. Here they are. I mean, they are very pretty. They're very, very nice. We have the Hobgoblin linemen. There they are. GW took me bloody road maps. Womp womp. Homelander killed me wife and took me bloody son. Womp womp. That I stim that every single time I hear it. I can't not. ADHD. Crucially, the Chaos Dwarves have also learned to lean into. So yeah, here we go. Chaos. I mean, look. I mean, they're very pretty models. I'm not 100% invested in Blood Bowl. I wish I was. Do we want some? We want some music back on, I would guess. Should we do that? Should we just have a little bit of soundtrack, so it's not just me screaming into the void? There we go. Normality is restored. Okay, so yeah, here we go. That's the Chaos Dwarves, and a bunch of stuff about the rules. I don't know enough about Blood Bowl to comment on it, but there we go. Next up, now let's see what they've actually done here, because that video was terrible. Iridan the Witness. Behold. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Before reforging, Iridan was an Azerite scholar whose memory became eidetic when they were transformed into a Stormcast Eternal. Their ability to recall countless years of military strategy proved a vital asset to Sigmar, but they were forever tormented by intense recollections of horrendous battles. There's some more close-ups of that. The silhouette is too similar to the dragon. I see it. I can see that. This though, this is unbelievably cool. I love that more than I love the than Iridan. I like Iridan a lot. Don't get me wrong. That axe is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful axe. It's lovely. But that glaive, man. It's so pretty. Also, Hallowed Knights. Only the faithful. Again, more close-ups there. It's very, very nice. That felt very lackluster for a reveal that's been delayed so long. Well, we're actually going to see. We're actually going to see all of the articles. Just need to rearrange my feet. This is gorgeous. I love that. I love this very much. How excited are you for the bird? I am extremely excited for this. I want it now. Like right now. I'm concerned about the scope creep on the headdresses. Yeah, I mean they are getting a little bit outrageous here on their headgear. Oh, I like this one. This one with a shield and a hammer. That's very nice. This one looks a bit strange. Just a raised fist and a giant hammer. I like it. It looks better in that profile than it did on the angle that it was doing in the video, but I like this one a lot. I love a Lord Senator, and I'm glad that it's multi-part and there's different versions of it as well. That's cool. I like it. I like it. Bottom right has the Breakfast Club pose. Yes! That is a great reference. That's exactly it. This Lord Relictor. This Lord Relictor is very nice. That's a bare fist. It is a bare fist, which means plenty of conversions. Did they mention this during the Empire of Man and High Elves? They mentioned that the Empire of Man are coming at the beginning of next year. I like the hood up. Hood up's nice. It's nicer than weird spiky. And you Lord Terminos with that. Oh, look at that sword. That sword's very pretty. Yeah, it's a nice new Memorian as well. We have multi-part Reclusians, which is nice. So they're not just going to be push fit. you are going to get a multi-part set, which means that you can build them with heavier weapons like these ones here. I mean, they might be push fit with the heavier weapons, but they don't look to be. I like the original Lord Celestin better. They confirmed Empire is coming out immediately following Chaos. Yep. The Memoriam has too much time on their hands. Nice. Maces are cool. Yep. Those are nice. Stormstrike Paladors. So finally, a Stormcast cavalry unit with a banner, and I saw a trumpet somewhere. These will be very interesting to see what their rules are like. I like these colour schemes as well, here, here, and here. They're very pretty. Oh, look. Celestial Vindicators. With a lance. A lance. It's called a lance. Name that reference. And then we have the Stormreach portal as well. There it is. Some close-ups there. And I can spot something, which is not on the screen for you yet. A Knight's Tale. Yes, Michael Williams. Well done. There's the new battle tome. Is it as nice as the Annihilator's cover? I like it. I don't know if it's as nice as the Annihilator's cover from third. That one looks better. The Gamers Edition. Okay, so here's the roadmap. Stop it. There you go. So 2024 still to come, battle tomes galore, including 2024 we're getting Skaven, Stormcast Eternals, and Slaves to Darkness. 2025 we're getting all factions, Spearhead, Destruction, Oryx War Clans, and Gloomspite Gits. Death, more to be announced soon. Army boxes, Spearheads. Three is not galore. It is not galore. Okay. There we go. Okay. I mean, there's a little bit more in here than what they were saying. It's not a great graphic, but reading it, it's Skaven, Stormcast, and Slaves to Darkness are coming 2024. 2025, apparently we're getting all factions. I don't think we're getting all factions, but we are going to be getting in 2025 the Iron Jaws Spearhead and Death stuff. Army boxes and Spearheads. So there's army boxes rather than battle forces, which is interesting. Okay. Oh, the Slaves to Darkness will also get a new Spearhead box featuring the Dark Oath tribes, and this will be joined in 2025 by a Spearhead for the Oryx War Clans and an army box and individual releases for the Gloomspite Gits. As for the Denizens of Death, we'll have more on them in good time. Nagash may be petty, but he is patient. There you go. There you go. So that right there, that's the paragraph that's actually interesting. So Dark Oath, they're getting a Spearhead. Confirmed. That's great. That's good news. Okay. Next up we have this one. Terrible graphic. Still to come, Blood Angels end the year. So the army box is out now, which means that the rest of the Blood Angel stuff should be coming in 2024. So the Sanguinary Guard, the Sanguinary Priest, and the Blood Angel's Captain. And then 2025, Astra Militarum, Eldari, and Imperial Knights, plus more codexes, big names, special Chaos treats. So that is not a announcement of a God Legion, like the Death Guard or the Thousand Sons or whatever, but it is a promise that special Chaos treats are coming. Nothing new from 40k for the rest of the year. It doesn't look like it. Which is interesting. So there we go. Well, Astra Militarum. I mean, a full Krieg release sounds very interesting. I can't wait to see what that looks like. That might mean Death Riders, which would be strange if there is Death Riders, because we have the Atalan Rough Riders. But we'll see, I guess. But maybe the Grenadiers, maybe the big the Basilisks and stuff like that, like what they call the Earthshaker platforms and stuff. That would be cool. That would be very nice to see. So there you go. That's the 40k. And then we have this Empire. Well, it says it right there. Empire of Man High Elves in 2025. Warriors of Chaos in 2024. With a battalion box set and more to follow, and beyond, even more to come in 2025. Empire of Man, followed by High Elves. So, there you go. There's really not a lot of that one. Let's see if there's any more articles. Yep, there is. So this one. Something new every month. In 2025, something new every month. Tanks. Lots of tanks. More Legions Imperialis. Oh, that's a really bad graphic. I'll be honest, this could have been an email. I agree, it could have been an email. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if we're going to get a plastic fell blade. That would be interesting. And then we have Wolf. So there you go. That is it. Yep, that's it. Well, there you go. There you go, guys. Plastic Mastodon when? Maybe. Have we been punished for letting Skaven win? Maybe a little bit. Give me 2 seconds, guys, because I just need to go and use the loo. But I will be back in 2 minutes. Give me a sec. And we're back. Well. So. I don't really know what to make of that. Stormcast, love them. That sounded amazing. And they look great. They look incredible. I think their Stormcast look absolutely... I think they just look absolutely wonderful. So I'm very pleased with them. That was nice. That was nice to see them. The Blood Bowl team, sure. Jacob, thank you very much for being a member for 4 months. I'm excited for the Stormcast Eternals stuff. Only the faithful. Emperor's Children, is that not coming this year? No, it's not. That'll be coming, I think, maybe Christmas next year. It wasn't a great show. This is the problem with these pre-recorded previews, is that they are really tough to get people excited and motivated about these things. And actually, there's greater impact if you just sort of drop an article out of nowhere. Which is, you know, it's a strange decision that they've made to do these as pre-recorded. But then I think it's probably because they're just like, well, you know, well, I don't know. I don't know why they've made this choice. It's probably easier. They don't have to. Could have summed it up in an email. Yeah. It's just a bit strange. I mean, look, I'm gonna say one positive thing. One positive thing is that you're seeing a lot more people who work at Games Workshop behind the scenes on screen. Do you see what I mean? It's not a great compliment, but at least it is something that you're seeing. Using the word new for the old world content was amusing. Yeah. It's a bit, we've got loads of new stuff for the old world. New? You mean returning? Returning stuff. Also, like, it was just a bit strange that it was Adam being the one who was the host of this one. I've gotten used to the other guy whose name I can't remember. At least when I see his face, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Andrew, sorry for whining in the chat. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much for the 5 Canadian. That is Canadian, right? But thank you very much for the 5. It is okay. We can. There's always space here for a little bit of group therapy. Yawn if you've received stuff that's not on the roadmap, Warhipster. I haven't actually. I haven't received stuff that's not on the roadmap, and I haven't received anything on the roadmap either. Look, I'm very, very excited for the Stormcast. I think the Stormcast look great. I got almost all of my predictions right, which makes me feel very warm and fuzzy. I'm sad that there isn't a ranged version. I'm also a little bit... I'm a little bit interested as to how, because in the Stormcast book, there's the Ruination Chamber thing, and you're basically now, I think you are just going to, unless the cavalry are Ruination Chamber, I don't think they are, but there are so many characters in the Ruination Chamber, and there's only Reclusians and Prosecutors as the troops. So, I mean, fine, if that is the case, but, we'll have to see what they're, clean your glasses if you'd have liked to have seen more. Well, I can do that for you, Sellowellas. I would have liked to have seen more, of course. It's like they've slowed down the amount of previews. They're doing more of these, and they're like 15 minutes. So we've had 2 recently that were like 15 minutes long, and then this one was half an hour. And most of it was talking about stuff they've already done this year. Blink if you think this was a waste of time for us and GW. It wasn't a waste of time for us, because we got to hang out. I got to speak. I got to talk to all of you, and that's never wasted. Hanging out and making jokes was fun. Yeah, it's always fun. I wonder if Blood Angels was supposed to be released at Nova, but they had to release quicker due to logistics. I think maybe. I think Blood Angels got swapped closer. I think something else has been... I don't know what it is, but something else has been pushed back, and Blood Angels was ready, so it was brought forwards. I think that's kind of how the Blood Angels feel. Super off topic. Did you ever paint Shalaxi? I haven't yet. Duke City Aquariums. It's on the desk. It's right here. Shalaxi is here. It's on the desk, which means it's near the top of the to-do list. I would have put the Stormcast out when the Blood Angels were. Well, you put them out this week. Pre-order went this weekend, wasn't it? Last weekend. But imagine staying up for this and seeing Sangard with no wings. There would be civil war. Oh, yeah. Maybe with how awful the Sangard are, they shouldn't have rushed the Blood Angels Lamau. I don't even think the Sanguinary Guard are awful. I just think they're boring. I think that's the harshest thing you can say about them. Which, for Games Workshop, is quite a knife in the heart. They're not supposed to make boring miniatures. I just think the Sanguinary Guard are just boring. Unimaginative. Boring is bad. No, you are right. You are absolutely right. And but they're just boring. It's a strange one. I mean, you look at them and they're like, okay, spears, that's nice, but otherwise, it's just they're just a bit dull. I'm a small fan of jokes. Do you not care for the jokes, James? Would you rather we didn't do the jokes? We can be a lot more serious. They want to add flavour to the chapters, but end up taking it away. Yeah, well, I mean, this is it. I think I've talked about this, but like, you know, people have on for years been asking Games Workshop to do new plastic versions of old models, and now they're doing it. You know. So and this is what happens. This is what you get when everything's a remaster, everything's a reboot. I'm excited for Krieg because either it's going to be plastic versions of what was available for Forge World, which is interesting because one of my favorite models is the Earthshaker carriage, the Earthshaker emplacements. I love those. They're just so brilliant. I know it's just a basilisk cannon without the truck, but like, I love it. I love those just emplaced weapons. I really like them. I think they're fantastic. Now it'd be interesting to see if that is the case, or if Deathcore of Krieg are going to get an actual, like, it plugs in with the rest of the Astra Militarum, but isn't just, you know, here's the Krieg version of the Rogel Dawn, you know. So if it's like, here's the Krieg infantry set, and here's the Krieg hero command squad, here is a named character for the Krieg, and then here is a upgrade set for the tanks. It'd be, you know, one can hope that that is not what happens, but it might be what happens. I feel if you weren't streaming this, I would have just finished watching Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Maybe. We got to experience the Stormcast together. That is a big thing. How do you wash a resin kit? I put it in a piece of plastic Tupperware, fill it with hot water and some washing up liquid, and leave it overnight. And then in the morning, I drain the water, and then I scrub it with a toothbrush and rinse it under cold water. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean, if anybody has seen my Blood Angels Army set review video, as I said in that video, it took me many takes to get the right tone for that one, because I'm not angry about it, I'm just disappointed. But each time I tried to film that video, I was like, here's all these things that I'm sad about, and it was just a salty man on the internet complaining, and I was like, look, how do we make this a constructive video whilst also conveying my deep disappointment for what the Blood Angels releases? But you know, we'll see. The book is nice and the two characters. Yeah. Look, I mean, there are positives. There are positives to be found if you look hard enough for them. Anything you can do if you over varnish a mini, say like a Redemptor Dreadnought. Somebody in the chat will know it's something like if you use vinegar or something like that, that can distill it. It's something like that. It's not vinegar, but like if you look up like kind of frosting miniatures varnish. Dealing with, olive oil. Olive oil apparently is something that can help. Hey Josh, what did you think of the new Stormcast? Love them, Alec, man. Absolutely love them. Thanks for being professional and an adult. All this. That's me. You know. I am a professional YouTuber. I know I don't have the I don't have the audience size, but I try to be. Look, I mean, there's enough people. Look, tomorrow there's going to be enough people who make videos about how awful everything is. I don't need to make one. You know. This is the thing. It's always a case of, and I don't know if I said this in the Blood Angels video, and I think I tried to say it. Is essentially, if you don't like something, you don't have to engage in it. So, like, if you don't like the new Sanguinary Guard, you don't have to buy them, and so you can just not engage. There is a plenty of other things to do, and actually, the best thing you can do in order to communicate to the company that you're not a fan of, let's say 40k. If you're not a fan of 40k, don't buy 40k models. Don't force 40k to work for you. You know, you don't have to make yourself fit with the game. The game has to fit with you. So if 40k isn't jiving with you, and if the Blood Angels release isn't jiving with you as a Blood Angels fan, which it isn't for me, I don't have to engage. I can go and do something else, which I will, in the form of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Or Kill Team. I'm actually quite pumped for that Hivestorm thing. You know? And that is like a revolutionary take for some people. But like, if you're not enjoying 40k, don't pay into it. But if you want to keep playing tabletop games, there's loads that Games Workshop makes, and there's loads outside of what Games Workshop makes as well. You can always scratch the itch. You know, if you're not enjoying Age of Sigmar 4, there's Old World. You know, and if you don't want to play a big game, you want to play small games, there's Warcry. They've got you covered at Games Workshop, really. And I genuinely think those Kill Team models are really cool, and I'm really excited for that version of Kill Team. I'm very excited for Hivestorm. I'm not excited for anything 40k at the moment, but Kill Team, yeah. I'd love to do 30k over 40k, but I swear I'm the only person in my small town who actually is interested in it. No, there'll be more. They'll be there, lurking somewhere. So guys, we'll hang out for another like 10 minutes. But as a YouTuber, I do have to ask a couple of YouTube questions for all of you. Don't worry, this isn't a survey. I do have to remind you to leave a like on the stream, because that would be very, 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 very kind of you. That's a free way to support the channel. And you might not have enjoyed the Games Workshop part of the stream, but you might have enjoyed me. So it's a way to tell not Games Workshop, it's a way to tell Google and YouTube that they should promote me more. And if you're not already, please do hit the subscribe button. Because, you know, we want to get to 100,000 subs. We want to get to 75k this year. And I don't think it's going to happen. You know. But I would like it to happen, you know. Ordered Thor's hammer to send to Liam holding 50 memberships. He's earned it. Nice. Has he followed through? Has he followed through on your agreement for the gym? And James Matthias, thank you so much for 20 gifted memberships. Amazing. That was going to be you've done it before I even suggested it. 552. Smashed it. That's incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, James. If, like James, you want to support the channel a little bit further, other than the like and the subscribe, you can become a member, or you can send a super chat. Of course, that is entirely up to you. That is the paid support for the channel. That would, you know. But there you go. That's the YouTubey things out of the way. Congratulations to anybody who just picked up a new membership. if you did get a membership, then say thank you to James and join us in the Discord. Hey man, have you ever made dice? If not, you should do a thing with Baron of Dice with your channel logo on them. I swear I would spend way too much money on them. I always think about doing the dice thing. The question is how to distribute them. And I have ADHD, so it's hard to think of all of these things at the same time. It's something I want to do. It's like proper Warhipstery, Warhammer related, hobby related merch is definitely at the top of the list of things to do. It's just I make a lot of videos, and the videos take precedence. You go with your Great Hall dice, yeah. I want my dice to be all over the world, and for everyone to be like, my dice are battle ready, but we're not going to leave them there. No, we're going to take them to the next level, and we're going to do this by rolling some 6s. Wahey! I can't wait to tank my bank balance again, buying all those new Stormcast models. Anyways, I need to go to sleep. Good night, Josh. Good night, Elec Man. Sleep well. But yeah. What will we do at 69,000 subs? Well, we're quite a way off that. You guys can plan that. You guys can plan the party for 69,000. Kind of off topic, but the Blood Angels talk made me wonder, what other chapters would you want to see get their own unique units and codex? Well, it depends on what's divergent enough, you know. Or if there's... what I would prefer to see is for Games Workshop to invent a new one. You know? A new chapter, and go, hey, these guys do this kind of thing, and here's new Space Marines for them. Here's a whole new range for them. And here's a sick new chapter master for them, and blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing. You know, how people talk of, you know, people like, you know, what's the, like the Carcharodons and stuff like that. You know, that they are established now, but they weren't established until they were established, you know? If that makes sense. So, like, for them to be like, here is a specialist chapter that does all, you know, well, it's you know, it's like cyber tech and stuff like that. Cody, thank you very much for the 5. I'm a huge fan of your Contrast Plus tutorials. It's become my main painting method. Oh, thank you very much, Cody. I'm a huge fan of your super chat, but I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. There's loads of videos coming. There's a bunch of MESBG videos coming. A new chapter would be quite the curveball. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if this is the problem is, right, is the community. If Games Workshop goes right, Gilliman has finished rewriting the codex, and he's realized that what he needs is a specific force of Space Marines to deal with this, to deal with X. So he's told Cole to go and make it and outfit them however he wants according to his specifications. And now here is a new range of Space Marines that specialize in parking fines and speed tickets, right? Let's just call them the Traffic Wardens, right? The Traffic Wardens Space Marines. And what you get is you get a range of cool new miniatures that plug into the Space Marine Codex, fine, but that they also have these specific things for the Emperor's Traffic Wardens, okay? That is really exciting. Not, obviously not this example, right? But the Emperor's Traffic Wardens, right? It's new. It's interesting. It's not redesigns of things. For any of the kind of like, as far as my imagination goes, and I can be quite imaginative, of course, but do they have vests and notepads? Yes. And there's no getting out of a ticket with them once they start writing the ticket. Is Blood Bowl worth getting into? The Chaos Dwarfs looked cool. I've always been told, and I've played a couple of games of Blood Bowl, I've always been told that Blood Bowl is really fun. And you can just basically do a team and maybe a star player or two, and you're good to go. So it's a really cheap thing to be into, as it were. Especially if other people are into Blood Bowl as well. But yeah, what 40k needs is it needs to shake off the shackles of whatever they've decided to constrain themselves with in order to allow themselves to develop and design new miniatures that are breathtaking and surprising. But at the moment they're like, well, we need to do this and we need to do that, and we need to kind of like stick within this design language. But design language can change, and it should change, and it should adapt, and it should grow. I demand a paint guide for the Emperor's Traffic Wardens. Well, maybe we'll do that. If they make them, Move into Warhammer 50k. Oh, I've advocated for that in the past, but I've been yelled at for saying something like that. I had somebody say to me, don't you dare say something like Age of Emperor would be a good idea. And I was like, well, it wouldn't be called that. Obviously. They just need to like loosen the reins a little bit on 40k, because that's what those Sanguinary Guard are. Those Sanguinary Guard are a product of a situation and a design language and a direction that the company has chosen to go in at the behest of at the behest of the community. Every post for about 6-7 years, and even to this day, they say we need, the lion riding a Thunderhawk, plastic Thunderhawk when. Don't then be surprised when the plastic Thunderhawk happens. Like, we need new Terminators now, because ever since Dark Imperium happened and the Primaris Marines arrived, people have been wanting new plastic Terminators, because Terminators look silly next to their Primaris brethren. And this is where we are in 10th edition. I bought the Warhammer 50k copyright. They will need to pay me billions for it. How much paint do you use in a week? A lot. I buy replacement paints probably every fortnight. The ones I replace most often are metallics, because metallics are everywhere. And I'm just doing them all the time. And I can never seem to line up the silvers and the golds. So Retributor armor I buy probably once a month. GW doesn't send you paints for free. They do not, no. They don't send me paints, they don't send me brushes. I have to buy all my paint and brushes. Boo-hoo. Woe is me. First world problems. Influencer complains about being too privileged. Sorry. No, I buy all my paints and all my brushes. All my basing material, all my spares. Which is why I need you guys to watch the videos, and because I need the ad revenue. To be honest, the biggest money saving, if Games Workshop wanted to support me as a content creator even further, would be to pay our electricity bill. And our broadband bill. Do you get your paints directly from GW or a local gaming store? I get them wherever they're in stock. So I either buy them from, or if I need them when I'm out. So I buy them from Firestorm Games, which I have an affiliate link in the description if you want to support the channel that way. There's a little bit of kickback from me if you guys purchase through the Firestorm Games link. Sometimes I'll buy them from Games Workshop if I have to, because they're out of stock everywhere. Worst case scenario, I'll order from eBay if I really need something and it's just out of stock everywhere. So like for ages, Black Templar was out of stock back in the day with contrast paint when it first came out, and I had to so I had to run and get them. So I had to eBay it. And I ended up what was it? Was it Black Templar? Or was it Blood Angels Red? It was one of the two. I ended up paying like £7 for buff paint because I needed it to finish a model. Dan, thank you very much for being a member for 7 months. I watch all the videos even if I'm not painting them. Well, that's because you're a legend. You are one of the main YouTubers who uses GW paints and brushes. Hardly anyone else does. I know. But that's because I make the videos so that if it was your first ever video because you've just started painting, you would conceivably have the stuff. Because when I first started using YouTube to learn painting stuff, because I'd had a bit of a break, so I came back and realized that YouTube suddenly had loads of Warhammer videos like battle reports and stuff and painting videos. I was looking up things like how to paint Ultramarines, and you'd find like painting channels that would be like, well, the first thing we're gonna do is whack out the airbrush, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't have that. And it was constantly, you'd have to skip through like 7 or 8 videos before you'd finally find one where it was like, okay, yeah, this one has Macragge blue and blah blah blah, rather than we're going to be using royal blue from insert miniature company that is from Wales. Starpilot 94 has been a member for 7 months. Oh cool, I have this, huh? Wild. Anyways, any teasers on MESBG painting guides to come? Yes, I can give you one right now. So here we go. Here is Aenir, the last king of Gondor. Here he is. So that is coming out. We have Werewolves of Angmar. Here is the werewolf. So that's coming out. And I finished them before we went away. The Knights of Angmar. No. Is it Knights of Angmar? Arnor. Knights of Arnor. There you go. Knights of Arnor. And then tomorrow, I will be painting Aranath and Argadir. More established Middle-earth content. I do actually have a rather large Minas Tirith project that needs to be done. So we have things like Citadel Guard. There they are. And we have Guards of the Fountain Court, Knights of Minas Tirith. We also have Hurin the Tall, Gandalf the White, Elrond. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of it. Oh, and we also have a War Mumak of Harad. Now, I'm gonna be trying to save up and paint a lot of MESBG content so that when the new edition drops, you'll be like, oh my giddy arm. So much MESBG content. We simply must support him. Did you ever paint Smaug? No, I haven't painted Smaug yet. Someday I shall paint Smaug. But Smaug is one of those miniatures where I have to have... How much is Smaug these days? Go away. Smaug. £437.50. So close to, well, 450 quid. I do not have £450. But I would love to paint Smaug one day. Contrast Plus, how to paint Smaug. Do you still do commission? You said in one of your videos that it was for a commission. I think it was Mortarion. What would be the process for getting a mini painted by you? So I'm not taking commissions anymore. However, if you want to, you can become a £50 Patreon subscriber. And one of the rewards for that is a painted miniature by me. Now, obviously, I'm very busy. So it's not, I can't do it straight away, but it's a painted miniature and it's of a certain size. It's a character usually. I think to about the value of 35. I might adjust it to be because in line with inflation. But if you become a £50 Patreon subscriber, one of the benefits for that is a painted miniature from myself. You just have to tell me what you want, and we can do it. And also you get a one-to-one coaching session with myself. That is another one of the benefits for the £50 level at Patreon. I'm currently building Deathwing Terminators, and I now have reached the point where I don't need the instructions anymore. I still have 25 Terminators left. Wow. That's impressive. That is impressive. I have I think 10 Terminators somewhere. I want to do more salamanders, but this is the problem. I've already done the salamanders. I've already done the salamanders video. So painting more salamanders Terminators is just like, ugh. Anyway, guys, it is now 25 minutes past 3. So I am going to shuffle off and go to bed. But Stormcast were very pretty. Chaos Dwarves were very pretty. And the roadmaps had interesting graphics. Made Games Workshop live in interesting times. But yeah, I am going to run away now and go to bed. And tomorrow you will be able to see a painting video, and that painting video is going to be Lemarty's, and it's a pretty good video. I think it's one of my best black armored Space Marines I've ever done. So yeah, there'll be a Lemarty's painting video, and then from the weekend onwards there will be a pile of MESBG content coming your way. We've already done 1, 2, 3 videos. There is still 1, 2, 3, 4 more videos left to go of all that stuff. So I'm going to raise the hand of farewell. I want to say a massive thank you to all the gifted members for the super chats. Honestly, as you guys know, is what keeps the channel alive and going. It's incredible support that you guys give me, and I really appreciate every single penny, because without you this doesn't happen. So I hope you've enjoyed my stream, and I will see you all for a painting video tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and talk to you soon. Love you. Good night. Sweet dreams. Mind the bed bugs don't bite. You wonderful, wonderful, lovely people.